I think you bottled it. Yes, shut up. I've had it.
The brand new series of The Apprentice on BBC One.
The Day of the Doctor.
That tastes fantastic.
The Great British Bake Off on BBC One.
The Voice 2015 starts Saturday 10th of January on BBC One.
There's nowhere to hide. EastEnders.
Time to play.
Oh, I am playing. The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street.
Sherlock, Sunday at 9 on BBC One.
The BBC. What does it stand for? Well, the BBC stands for the Broadcasting Corporation. It is a UK-based public service broadcaster headquartered at the Broadcasting House in London. It is known as a public company because it is a company owned by a state, which means it is owned and paid for by the public. So how is the BBC funded? The BBC is funded by the public through the TV licence fee. Every member of the public has to pay each year. The fee comes up to £145.50 per year. If you own a colour TV and if you own a black and white TV, the fee comes up to £49. However, the fee changes in circumstances such as if a person over the age of 75 needn't pay for the licences. If a person is registered as a blind person, they receive a 50% discount on the fee, and if you are registered under a care home, you are entitled to a discount to a TV licence fee of £7.50. According to the BBC's 2013 to 2014 annual report, its total income was £5 billion. The £5 billion is broken down in such a way. £3,726.1 million in licence fees collected from householders, £1,023.2 million from the BBC's commercial businesses, £244.6 million from government grants, of which £238.5 million is from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office from the BBC World Service, £72.1 million from other income, such as rental collections and royalties from overseas broadcasts and of programming. So who runs the BBC? Well, several operational areas manage the BBC. These include the Directors General Office and Executive Radio, BBC North, Finance and Businesses, Digital and Strategy, News Group, and Television. The BBC is established under a Royal Charter. It recognises the BBC's editorial independence and sets out its public purposes. The current charter started in 2007 and is due to end in 2016. Under the Charter, the BBC is governed by the Trust. It sets the direction of the BBC and represents the interests of licence fee payers. The Trust sets purpose remits, issues service licences and holds an executive board to account for its performances in delivering BBC services. The Trust works closely with national audience councils in order to understand the needs and concerns of the audience. The BBC Executive Board is responsible for its operational management. Directors from across the BBC contribute to the leaderships of the organisation as such as executive team. The BBC is regulated by Ofcom, which is the independent regulator and competition authority of the UK communication industry. It has responsibilities across television, radio, telecommunications and wireless communication services. Since it was founded on October 18, 1922, the BBC has gone to be one of the most successful broadcasters in the world. They have TV channels from the BBC to BBC Three, BBC Sport, and radio shows such as BBC Radio 1. Some of their most rated shows include Sherlock, The Voice, EastEnders, Doctor Who, Match of the Day, and The Graham Norton Show. They have radio shows such as BBC Radio 1. They also have a production company on which they make their films from many more venture and assets. However, the BBC's management has been complained about lately by the public. When BBC was announcing that they were closing the BBC Three channel down as a broadcasting TV channel in autumn 2015, the BBC stated that in doing so they will be saving up to £50 million a year. £30 million of that money will be going into drama shows on the BBC One. The freed up spectrum will be used to extend the CBBC by an hour a night and to provide a BBC One Plus One service. The public weren't too happy about this announcement because they would be enjoying some of their favourite BBC Three shows such as Family Guy, Russ Howard's Good News, Being Human and many more. BBC Three, according to the BBC, will be reinvented as a new and innovative online service. There are mixed opinions about the licence fee. Some say that licence fee is outdated and it should be scrapped. Others say that it should stay, but be distributed beyond the BBC. But some people even say that it denies consumers choices, is ineffective, and has been no aggressive effect. A host of MPs have backed plans to make licence fee evasions a civic, rather than a criminal offence. BBC Chairman Lord Grade has focused plans to discriminise non-payment of licence fees to be put on hold until 2017. While programmes such as Strictly Come Dancing, Dancing on Ice is aired on ITV. That would be a rival programme, because they're both dancing competitions. Some viewers might want to watch Strictly Come Dancing more than watch Dancing on Ice. It is the same with The Voice and X Factor. It will be basically which programme will get the most views. BBC competitors will be Sky, Channel 4 and ITV. They are all on demand and catch up. They introduced BBC iPlayer, which allows you to catch up on any shows that you may have missed. BBC iPlayer was modified to include links to other programmes from different broadcasters, including ITV, ITV2, ITV3, ITV4, Channel 4, E4, More 4, Film 4, Channel 5, 5 Star, 5 USA and S4C. In October 2014 it was updated so that the availability of the programmes was from 7 days to now 30 days. Special applications for mobile platforms was then introduced in February 2011. They are for iOS and Android devices, where their launch would have the biggest impact. The latest technology development is Samsung. Samsung are going to release a SU HD TV with 4K. Netflix and Amazon have started to stream some shows in high definition format, and new TVs are gaining the ability to stream 4K YouTube clips.
I believe we have a choice in this world about how to tell sad stories. On the one hand, you can sugarcoat it. And nothing is too messed up that can't be fixed with a Peter Gabriel song.
We go full ahead! Put your backs into it!
Got everything I need right here with me. I figure life's a gift and I don't intend on wasting it.
We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi.
This is why we're here. Because this little gray rock sells for $20 million a kilo. Their village happens to be resting on the richest deposit, and they need to reload.
Thomas.
Why are we different?
What if we were sent here for a reason?
You're not like the others. You're curious.
You know we can arrest you for obstructing an ongoing investigation.
Good luck.
Surprise! Come on, man!
Get out, bull in China shop!
What part of out do you not understand?
You wanna go out? We'll take you out. I can't hold you!
What are you gonna do? We're gonna take out Valentine.
Assemble the Kingsman.
May kill me.
What about my son, Nick?
This man may kill me. In her own words, this man may truly kill me.
You ever hear the expression, the simplest answer is often the correct one?
Actually, I've never found that to be true.
As you may have guessed, this is indeed a podcast about the very beloved film studio, 20th Century Fox. And as to my identity, I am an aficionado of all things in a very mysterious but yet public film world, and I shall be your narrator. 20th Century Fox is one of the 6 major studios in Hollywood. It was founded on May 31st, 1933 by 2 highly ambitious pals, Darrell F. Zanuck and Joseph Schenek. Being one of the most respected studios on this dreadful planet of ours, it has blessed us with great movies, such as the cinematic masterpiece that is Avatar, which broke, of course, the stereotype that all aliens must be green. This one presented us with blue ones, quite refreshing actually, if you ask me. The very popular romance film Titanic, people are quite fond of it actually, despite the fact that it makes them depressed and sad. Then came X-Men First Class, Gone Girl, and of course the highly entertaining gentleman spy film Kingsman: The Secret Service. Being an American multinational mass media corporation, 20th Century Fox owns the Fox Television Network, Fox Animation, National Geographic Channel, Fox Sports, Fox Music, and many more. However, don't make the mistake, it is not a media conglomerate. It is indeed a subsidiary of News Corp, one of the biggest media conglomerate owned by the incredibly rich business magnate Rupert Murdoch. The company was founded in 1979 in Australia. As you can imagine, News Corp is a vertically integrated media company with properties in film, cable, magazine, newspaper, publishing, and many more. One could honestly go on for days, but the most interesting part of it all is the company's revenue. A revenue of which comes up to $33.706 billion, dear heavens. What does one do with such wealth? The most commercially successful production partners in the past few years have been well-established companies. Companies such as Marvel Studios, Blue Sky Studios, Bad Hat Production, Troublemaker Studio, and of course, many others. One could truly go on for days. Anyhow, the company's CEO is a gentleman called Bruno Senecki, and its chairman board has directors Terence Streeter, Yulong Chan, Rod Wai, along with Jeffrey Clifford as control and co-secretary. Since 20th Century Fox started up to now, it's been part of a rather exciting, entertaining, and highly competitive competition that is the entertainment industry. It is part of an elite group of competitors, as you can imagine. Competitors such as Walt Disney, Marvel Studios, Paramount, Sony Pictures, and many more. Once again, one could truly go on for days, but truthfully, where the competition gets very interesting for these companies is every weekend at the box office, they engage in a high-stakes game of which studio will go home with the #1 movie. It's quite a big deal actually, some people do gamble over this. Anyway, over the past year, some negativity has grown towards the big media companies. The issue at hand is the fact that some members of the public, which will remain unnamed, of course, after all we do have some journalistic integrity, have raised the rather loud complaints about the media companies owning everything and possessing the insatiable power of greed. The world of media has never been more consolidated now. 6 media giants now control a staggering 90% of what we read, watch, or listen to. In 1983, when I was still a very handsome infant, 90% of American media was controlled by 50 companies. But since 2011, that 90% is controlled by 6 companies. GE, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. About 232 power-hungry media executives control the information of 277 million Americans. That is pretty much one media exec to 850 subscribers. An audience the size of San Francisco, my god. Now, of course, it all comes down to one question. What is in it for me, as they say? And when these big 6 companies ask themselves such a question, they are met with a rather pleasing answer of $275.9 billion, my god. What does one do with such money? Now, of course, I happen to think it's quite fine for these 6 companies to own everything. There is some form of order to their media dictatorship and takeover. However, I cannot speak for everyone, for there are some members of the public who will remain unnamed, that feel as though it's not right because the big companies are overshadowing the little companies which take away the freedom. Now, onto our other pressing subjects. Some of us occupy local residence in our local cinemas and have well-cultivated relationship with our Netflix. We have witnessed the development of technology in films over the years. Movies have now gone from being shot on cinemascopes to film, and then came the glittering age of digital filmmaking. Technology has improved greatly with such beautiful image quality that comes with 3D cameras, IMAX cameras, and even 4D cameras. Nowadays, filmmaking has been made very easily with the creation of digital cameras. One can film a professional standard film with great image quality on a DSLR camera that can fit in his bag. It's quite impressive if you ask me. Currently, the latest technology in filmmaking is 3D and IMAX. They both offer great image quality and high frame rate. Both IMAX and 3D are truly outstanding if you ask me. But if history has taught us anything, is that humans, we are creatures of dissatisfaction, therefore we won't stop there. I absolutely think that we are still in the dawn of the age of IMAX. The future holds great things such as IMAX cinemas, hyper-realistic CGI visual effects, and even surround vision, you know, where there's like cameras everywhere and you literally feel like you're practically in the scene. You know what I mean? Like, the experience in the movies will be as magical as a bowl of Cocoa Pops in the morning. But all you have to do is just sit back and watch the evolution of filmmaking take its place. The audience won't only just watch a scene, they'll be part of a scene. That's how realistic all the visual effects and all the big screens will go. When you look at the future of filmmaking, you can't help but just get excited. I know I can.